This is Local 15 Today.
Breaking news overnight, a suspected armed robbery at a Shell gas station on Navco Road and a woman locked inside of the restroom as the whole ordeal unfolds. Good morning, everyone. I'm Darwin Singleton.
And I'm Kelly Foster. This morning, at least 2 suspects on the loose suspected of being involved in that potential robbery. Local 15's Zora Asbury joins us now with more on what happened. Good morning, Zora.
Good morning, Kelly. Darwin, an armed robbery that happened at the mobile gas station. It was a Shell overnight, and like Darwin said, the entire time a woman was locked inside the bathroom. Here is a live look at the scene this morning. Now, that armed robbery happened at this Shell gas station on Navco Road, and as you can see, we're looking at that live look. We got the call around 2:30. Now, that robbery took place moments after one woman had walked into the store's restroom. She recalls those tense moments when she found out the store was being robbed.
As I came in the store, I asked, I was going for the snacks, and then when I got my snacks, I realized I had to use the bathroom. So I asked Ali, could I use the bathroom? And he said, yeah, hold on a minute. And once he got the key, I went back there and used the bathroom. And he came back there running in while I was in the bathroom saying he getting robbed. And there's some guys with ski masks with some guns. And so they had locked us in the bathroom. And so he didn't want to come back up out of there. So I'm thinking, like, I'm going to lose my life or whatever.
Now, according to that witness, there was more than one armed robber, and she says, like, they were in ski masks, and the witness also says the men got away, but that has not yet been confirmed by officials. And at this time, we do believe law enforcement is still searching for those suspects, and we will continue to call Mobile Dispatch and find out exactly what's going on. But as of now, we haven't received any new information. In the Breaking News Center, Zora Asbury, Local 15 News.
Good Friday morning, everybody. Well, take a look at the live pinpoint Doppler. We do have some showers around from about Milton, Florida, all the way to Fort Walton Beach, the right area. And all of this continuing to lift slowly towards the north and east right now. Pensacola is dry, but we're going to continue to watch those showers develop offshore that will be moving inland in short order. But as you can see right now, Mobile, Baldwin getting a nice break. All morning long, we have been watching those showers across the eastern zones of our viewing area, and thankfully, we have not seen any wet weather in the port city because it has been a soggy go of it all week, with the exception of this morning in Mobile. But no worries, we're going to have more waves of rain on the way. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and we continue to watch moisture charging in from the west. We also have Tropical Depression Beatrice. This is a Pacific system. It's going to be crossing over Mexico, and it's just going to weaken completely, but some of that moisture is going to be moving into the Gulf of Mexico and could enhance the eastern zones of our viewing area, the rain threat as we head into late weekend and early next week. So here's your hour by hour: 74 at 7, 81 at noon. We'll top out today at 82 degrees. I'll have more on your weekend forecast coming up, but first a time check right now. It is 5:03, and as you make your morning drive, keep in mind it is going to be slick out there this morning. A vigil is scheduled today for 16-year-old Brian Parker of Sims.
It was confirmed Thursday that Parker's body was found Wednesday in Greene County, Mississippi, near Lucedale. Parker had been missing since last week.
Authorities believe Matthew Moberg killed Parker. Detectives trying to determine a motive. Police say Moberg was arrested 4 years ago for plotting to kill his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, and that this case is very similar.
He was incarcerated back in 2014 for a conspiracy to kidnap, conspiracy to murder. And the details of that case closely mirrored, what we saw in this case.
Moberg is currently held in the Mobile County Jail.
Well, the groundwork has been done, and Amazon is heading to Mobile.
The company is set to build its first customer fulfillment center in the state, right in Theodore. It'll be a sortation center where workers sort customer packages by zip codes, allowing faster and expanded delivery options. The center, scheduled to open early next year, should bring hundreds of jobs. County Commissioner Jerry Carl says the move shines the business spotlight brightly on Mobile.
But the important thing to me, or the thing that I like to focus on, is the fact our name will be listed on Amazon sites. So when you go to an Amazon site and you look to see where it's going to be shipped from, it says Mobile, Alabama. Nowhere else in Alabama will you see their name listed. We are it. We're Amazon.
Construction already underway. The building will be more than 350,000 square feet, providing roughly 250 permanent jobs and around 1,300 seasonal opportunities.
And remember, Amazon is just the latest huge development coming to South Mobile County. Retail giant Walmart is also working to open a distribution center in Mobile County. It's set to open in 2018 and is expected to bring up to 500 new jobs along with it. It'll serve around 800 Walmart stores across the country.
New this morning, the Trump administration taking its push for a travel ban to the nation's highest court. Thursday night, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to allow the travel ban to go into effect. The ban will block foreign nationals from 6 Muslim-majority countries from entering the U.S., a rule that could be unconstitutional. Because of that, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals currently has the ban on hold. Thursday night's request to put the ban into effect will now be referred to the full court.
That's reaction this morning to President Trump's decision to withdraw from the landmark Paris Climate Accord. The move has been criticized by mayors and business leaders, but applauded by some GOP lawmakers.
One of the most self-destructive moves I've ever seen by any president in my lifetime.
The American people elected Donald Trump to be their president, and he made a decision today, a decision I believe was right for them.
The United States will now join Syria and Nicaragua as the only UN members not signed to that global treaty. President Trump has made comments that he does have the desire to renegotiate the plan under what he calls better terms, but leaders of Germany, France, and Italy have already declared that the accord cannot be renegotiated.
The Russia probe deepens this morning. In less than a week, former FBI Director James Comey set to testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Comey expected to discuss whether he felt pressure from President Trump to end the investigation into possible ties between fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and Russia. Comey could also be asked about Attorney General Jeff Sessions and new allegations surrounding his meetings with the Russian ambassador.
If these allegations prove to be correct, they would be very serious because, after all, he failed to disclose his meetings with the Russian ambassador when he testified. So that is an enormously serious charge.
Comey should testify next Thursday.
In the meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin continues to deny any Russian government involvement in the meddling of the 2016 presidential elections. But
for the first time, he said it is possible that some individual, quote, patriotic hackers could have been involved. NBC's Megyn Kelly expected to sit down with Putin for an exclusive interview today, featured on the premiere of Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly this Sunday at 6, only on Local 15. The Gulf Coast is the ideal vacation location for anyone who wants some sun, sand, and superior relaxation.
Some locals may consider turning their home into a hotel to get some extra cash, but wait. Be sure you know the 3 things you need to consider before turning your home into a getaway for others.
We cannot stop hurricanes, but again, we can prepare for them.
You are in the potential strike zone, so preparing your homes and businesses. Coming up, an evacuation plan and having emergency supplies on hand is vital as we dive into the 2017 hurricane season. Coming up this morning, the severity of storms forecasters are predicting.
Also coming up, where you can get hurricane supplies tax-free.
And your time is 5:08. We're still dealing with some showers across Pensacola this morning, but the rain ramps up this afternoon. We'll top out at 82. Your weekend forecast is next.
Hello, I'm Mark Hyman. Resistance movements have occurred throughout history. Here's what's happening behind the headlines. World War II spawned several resistance movements. For example, partisans in Poland, Norway, and France organized to fight the occupying German army. The brutal socialist regime in the Soviet Union and communists in China were so dominant that significant resistance movements were crushed before they began. A dissident movement comprised of freedom-loving Cubans resisted the brutality of Fidel Castro. He took revenge by slaughtering Cubans by the thousands when they attempted to flee the socialist island. Which brings us to the U.S. Countless politicians, from Hillary Clinton to Elizabeth Warren, chatter on about a resistance. MoveOn preaches resistance in near daily emails to its followers. But understand this, if you are not hauled away in the dead of night, if you don't have relatives who've gone missing, if your friends are not jailed on fake charges, If you're not at risk of being summarily executed, then you are not a resistance. To suggest you are only trivializes the very real threats faced by members of actual resistance movements. No, you're not a resistance. You're merely angry with how an election turned out. To comment, go to BehindTheHeadlines.net. I'm Mark Hyman.
Local 15 News, named Best Newscast in the state by the Alabama Broadcasters Association. Local 15 weather with meteorologist Kelly Foster.
5:13, time to rise and shine. It is Friday, one of my favorite days of the work week. Mobile is dry right now. Baldwin County not looking at any wet weather either, but here's who is dealing with the waves of rain this morning. And as you can see right now, we've got showers moving near Milton, Pace, Florida, right along Interstate 10. No lightning out there, but thunderstorms are beginning to get cranked up near Fort Walton Beach, Destin, and all of that is continuing to lift towards the north and east towards Niceville. So Okaloosa County moving in your area from Santa Rosa right now. So do expect a few minor slowdowns near the Milton area due to the fact that you're going to have some big splashes of rain coming down out of the sky. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Not much happening right now in Louisiana or Texas, but once we get some heating mixed in, we're expecting more waves of rain to move along a stalled out front. Plus, we're going to have additional moisture coming from Beatrice. This is a tropical depression. It's moving over Mexico, very mountainous terrain. The potential for flooding, mudslides across Mexico. And what does this mean for us? Well, we are expecting Beatrice to fizzle, but we're going to see some remnants of her moisture moving into the Gulf of Mexico that could increase our rain chances late weekend into early next week across the Panhandle. We're not anticipating any redevelopment out in the Gulf of Mexico, but it looks like it's going to be bringing some moisture right into our backyard. 74 degrees at 7, 81 at lunch, 82 the high today at 3, and 80 at 5 o'clock. Keep that umbrella close and the rain boots in the back seat too. As far as the tropics, we're at the second day of hurricane season 2017. We typically see development this time of year in the Gulf, the Northern Caribbean, and the Eastern Seaboard now that we're in June, but we're not seeing anything that's really gaining our attention at this point. We'll continue to watch it. Kind of a swampy start. You know, the heat and humidity has been suppressed through the rain-cooled air, the cloud cover, but this morning a lot of that moisture making a comeback. We've even had a little bit of light fog. More bursts of rain, you can bank on that. We're pretty much going to have the weather on repeat today. It's on cruise control. Dry relief ahead. We're just going to have to wait a while. That sunshine taking its sweet time. It's been on vacation and it's not going to be coming back until the middle of next week. So until then, if you don't have a new pair of sunglasses just yet this season, no worries. You're not going to need them for a while. 7 o'clock this morning, showers near the Mississippi Barrier Island. Notice the blips of rain showing up at noon today. North of I-10, Mobile, Baldwin. By 5 o'clock, it looks like showers near Bay Minette, also over towards Citronelle. And then, as you can see, as we head on into tonight, it settles. But tomorrow morning at 7, more showers around, and we're going to increase that rain threat tomorrow to 70%. So download the Local 15 weather app. You'll use it every day. I think it's one of the best weather apps out there. And 82 degrees will be the high temp today. Here's a look at your 7-day. And so far so good. Keep in mind today is the second day of red snapper season, and we've only got 3 days that wraps up Saturday, so mariners, be careful out in the waters. Darwin.
It's also National Donut Day, Kelly.
Yes, and I'm hungry for one right now.
I'll let you know. The National Senior Olympics game began this weekend in Birmingham, and one man out of Fairhope is hoping to bring home the gold. But first, a 98-year-old skydiver is making history in Louisiana.
And it's the last day of class for students in Mobile County. As the school year comes to an end, many students across the country, there's something families of 4th graders should be reminded of. Up next. Apartment blaze overnight left one man waking up without a home.
That man had some fire-related injuries as well, but he is recovering. Local 15 Zora Asbury has the details. She's joining us now. Good morning, Zora.
Good morning, Darwin. That's right. The man was suffering from smoke inhalation following that apartment fire on Scenic Highway. The Pensacola Fire Department Lieutenant Gary Creel said the displaced man was the only occupant in the apartment. He was treated on scene. The fire happened in the 900 block of Scenic Highway at the Colony House Apartments. Also, a cat was found unresponsive in the room of the origin of the fire. That cat reportedly was removed from the hazard atmosphere, revived, and returned to its family. So good news for that cat. The Pensacola Police Department diverted traffic in that area as that fire was being put out, and now traffic is now reopened in Pensacola. In the Breaking News Center, Zora Asbury, Local 15 News.
All right, thanks, Zora. A second person has been pronounced dead following a corn mill explosion in southern Wisconsin, and this morning a third person remains missing. Crews continue to search through the debris, hoping to pull the worker out alive. Now, we do know that 2 people have been killed, 11 others injured when the explosion rocked the corn processing plant late Wednesday night. Officials say they don't know what caused that blast.
Making headlines this morning, a 98-year-old woman shatters a Louisiana skydiving record. Take a look. Not only did she break a record as the oldest skydiver in the state, but Sarah Simmons also helped raise $4,000 for the National Guard's Youth Challenge program. What a brave lady.
And a 12-year-old, Ananya Vinay, get that right, Ananya Vinay is her name. Remember it, she won the Scripps National Spelling Bee last night, and she took home $40,000 in cash. That is a happy dad right there. And get this, 12-year-old Erin Howard, who represented the state of Alabama, she made it to the final 15, as well as a 14-year-old Serena Keith Bogatti. She's from Florida, and we congratulate both of them and everyone else who participated.
Fourth graders and parents of fourth graders, listen up. That includes me. This weekend, a great weekend to visit a national park, especially because it's free. Fourth graders get free admission to parks and other federal lands. All they need is a fourth grade pass. So if your child is currently a fourth grader rising into fifth grade, they can still get free admission through the summer. Current third graders going into fourth receive their free pass in September. Passes are available at every kid in a park.gov. We posted that link to our website, local15tv.com. Just click on the Find It section.
Well, in celebration of the last day of school, take your student to get a free donut because it's National Donut Day, and Krispy Kreme is giving you a free donut of your choice. No purchase necessary, 1 donut per person. Participating Dunkin' Donuts restaurants are also celebrating and get a free classic donut with the purchase of any beverage while supplies last.
And here's a fun fact, Darwin. National Donut Day is actually today, and it got its start back in 1938 when the Salvation Army used donuts to raise money during the Great Depression. It also commemorates the women that served donuts to soldiers during World War I.
That sounds really good.
What's your favorite?
I like the Boston Creamfield. I like the crullers. I like the cake donuts, the blueberry.
Yeah.
I like them all, apparently. So what about you?
I like the chocolate with the cream inside. I know. So many calories, but so delicious.
Okay.
All right, well, weather-wise, take a look. We're dealing with some wet weather out there, and we're going to continue to watch the radar scan. What we're seeing right now is a bit of a rain break from Mobile, but showers are firing up for the Pensacola area, now moving out of Pensacola and over towards Milton, Cantonment, showers over near Fort Walton Beach and Wright. And we're going to continue to watch all this wet weather as it continues to redevelop during the afternoon hours. So here's a look right now. More wet weather thanks to tropical depression Beatrice. I'll have more on that next.
Search for alternative getaways, and that has contributed to a $100 billion industry with millions of people worldwide listing their homes on websites like Airbnb, Flipkey, and HomeAway. They want to generate income, but before you jump into the sharing economy, there's new things you'll need to consider before you turn your home into a hotel. Consumer Report says the first thing you need to do is make sure it's legal. Vacation rentals aren't legal everywhere, so you got to look into the local laws before you list your home. Also, consider a call to your insurance agent and your accountant.
When you're renting your home, you're essentially running a business, which means you've got to think about things like the type of insurance you need and whether or not you're going to owe taxes on the income you earn.
Consumer Report also says outfitting your home with a keyless lock, reliable coffee machine, and comfortable mattress will make it a more desirable rental. We'll be right back.
This is Local 15 Today.
I was like, I ain't trying to die today, like,
Breaking overnight, a suspected robbery at a gas station on Navco Road. This morning, at least 2 suspects, both armed and dangerous, on the loose.
It really only takes one storm.
That's the warning for all residents living in potential strike zones as the 2017 hurricane season is now underway.
Food prices so high that you still have to pay cash for food. And some people don't have cash to pay for food. And their kids and themselves be starving at home.
Alabama families perhaps going hungry this morning. A new report revealing more than 40,000 families who received food stamps in 2016 are no longer eligible. Good morning, everyone. I'm Darwin Singleton. We thank you for joining us for Local 15 today. My co-anchor, Kelly Foster, she's in the Weather Center, and that's important, Kelly, because we got a weekend ahead. We sure do, Darwin, and it's the first weekend of June, the second day of hurricane season, and the second day of federal red snapper fishing season. And take a look at the live pinpoint Doppler. We do have some showers moving across Fort Walton Beach, I-10 near Milton, and that's going to be moving over towards Crestview, but we're not seeing a whole lot of storm action out in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's good news for the fishermen. We're going to continue to watch our entire Gulf Coast region. We've got a front that's draped across the area, and it's really been the focal point for showers and storms. Meanwhile, we have Tropical Depression Beatrice. This is not in the Gulf. This is a Pacific Tropical Depression. It's going to fade out over Mexico, but some of the moisture from that system could move across the eastern zones of the Florida Panhandle as we head into early next week. So it's just going to keep parts of our viewing area in a soggy pattern. We're not anticipating any further development. 7 a.m. 74, 81 at noon, and 82 the high today. We'll take it to the streets and take a look at your Friday morning drive this morning. And here's a look towards downtown. Roads are slick. Drive safely.
Continuing coverage this morning, an armed robbery that happened at a Mobile gas station overnight, all while a woman was locked inside of the bathroom. Police got the call around 2:30. The armed robbery happened at the Shell gas station on Navco Road, and just moments before the robbery took place, one woman walked into the store's restroom. Soon after, the clerk barged in, telling her that the store was getting robbed.
So you didn't even care at the point about him being in the bathroom with you?
No, get up out of here. This, like, go see what's going on. Like, I was thinking I was finna die. My son just graduated from 8th grade to the 9th grade, so I was like, I ain't trying to die today. Like,
all you could think about was your son at that point?
Yeah, thinking about my kids.
According to that witness, there was more than one armed robber, and she says they were in ski masks. The witness also says the men got away, but that has not yet been confirmed by officials. And at this time, we do believe law enforcement is still searching for the suspect or suspects. So we have been trying to contact the Mobile dispatch, but haven't received a response just yet. It is very early.
So she went in the bathroom to use the bathroom while she was buying her snacks.
Yes.
And this all happened while she was in there.
While she was in the restroom, the clerk runs to the restroom, barges in, and is like, we're getting robbed. So.
Well, what a blessing that she was in the bathroom, because you're talking about just moments that could have meant her life or a situation much worse.
The right place at the right time.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Keep your eyes out this morning, especially in the Navco Road area.
All right, thank you, Zora. In your morning headlines, the search is on for a missing 12-year-old girl.
Naomi Jones was last seen Wednesday afternoon in front of the Aspen Village Apartments. Her family says she went missing while walking the family dog. Naomi's mother is pleading for your help to bring her little girl home safe and sound.
If Naomi is out there, if anybody is watching that has my baby, I just need you to bring her back home. My number is all over social media right now. Just please bring my baby home.
Naomi's mother used her daughter's phone to reach out to people she connected with on social media. She was last seen wearing pink and black braids and a red spaghetti strap shirt and red, white, and blue American flag shorts.
Such a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
All right, well, an inmate from Baldwin County is recaptured after being on the run for a month.
Ryan Wilson escaped Loxley Work Release Center back in April. Well, he was caught yesterday near Newport News, or Newport, Tennessee, I should say. Wilson was serving a 2-year sentence for a theft of property charge, and he's now awaiting extradition back to Alabama.
An Alabama inmate convicted of killing 3 people in an armed robbery has had his execution date set. Robert Melson opened fire during a 1994 armed robbery at a fast food restaurant in Gadsden, killing 3 people and injuring a 4th. His execution has been set for next Thursday at Holman Prison.
Day 1 of red snapper season appears to have been a success. Take a look at all these pictures sent to us from our viewers. Unfortunately, Recreational anglers will only be allowed to fish for 3 days in federal waters. That means 2 more days, making it a very short season for them. Fishermen are planning a floating protest for Sunday, which will be the day after the season is over. It's scheduled to be held at the Perdido Pass Bridge.
A recent new law brings crawfish boils back to downtown Mobile, and this weekend those boils are back in a big way. This Saturday from 2 to 6, some downtown bars cluster together for the 8th annual Duel on Dolphin. Crawfish heavily, of course, on the menu.
Between the entire festival, I think we're sitting a little bit over 1,000 pounds.
The festival benefits feeding the Gulf Coast Food Bank.
Well, a new study shows the number of people on food stamps in the state of Alabama has dropped significantly.
This comes after a rule change last year requiring able-bodied residents to work at least part-time to be eligible for benefits.
It was a change in the rule that, according to this report, affected at least 40,000 people.
The rules are working. Sometimes it's harder than what people think to be able to get a job. Like with me, I do good to hit 35 hours a week.
This woman, who wanted to remain anonymous, says she still receives the benefits, but the recent rule changes make them a lot harder to keep.
I want so much information and just everything else, and being a single mother of 4 and going to school and working, it gets really rough and it gets hard.
They don't have kids, they can't get food stamps. And then if you get a job, they're gonna cut your food stamps.
In January of last year, the number of able-bodied adults without dependents in Alabama on SNAP benefits or food stamps was at near 50,000. As of this month, a reported 7,483 are currently receiving food stamps. That is a staggering 42,000 less than before.
However, there are some exemptions. Recipients who are physically or mentally unable to keep a job are off the hook.
So are expecting mothers and those caring for the mentally or physically disabled.
Students and those participating in a drug or alcohol program are clear as well. Alabama State Auditor says because of budget cuts, he doesn't have enough money to operate. The State Auditor's Office is responsible for checking $1.9 billion of state property. Jim Ziegler says he now has to resort to emergency measures to do his job. Since taking office in 2015, Ziegler's budget decreased 28%.
Valuable things, computers, weapons, occasionally a state vehicle goes missing. And that's no way to run a state government, and we need to be tightening up on the state auditing processes, not cutting them out.
Ziegler described his office as underwater and blames former Governor Bentley for cuts. He says if something isn't done soon, things may disappear.
Just a reminder, the Water Street ramp onto eastbound I-10 right at the mouth of the Wallace Tunnel is closed for good.
The red line shows that closed ramp, and in green is the route drivers will now follow that will lead them to I-10 eastbound. Drivers will take Canal to Claiborne Street, then Texas Street. Signs will be hoisted on the road to direct you. AlDOT says the whole purpose is to improve safety and movement while folks are going through the tunnel.
Just don't go that fast.
No.
Hurricane season kicked off Thursday, which means meteorologists are now closely watching the Gulf for any signs of tropical storms.
Every inch of it, really, because at any moment a tropical storm could turn into a hurricane and could approach the Gulf Coast.
That is why researchers are predicting an above-average Atlantic season, and they're warning residents here along the coastal areas to start preparing now. NOAA forecasters are predicting an above-average season with a range of 11 to 17 tropical storms, 5 to 9 of those becoming hurricanes, 2 to 4 of those becoming major hurricanes with sustained winds of 111 miles per hour or more. But for now, of course, waters are calm.
One thing meteorologists can't predict, though, is where the violent storms will strike, which is why we're stressing it is important that hundreds of thousands who live in a high-risk area have a plan in place. Well, this morning, worldwide reaction to President Trump's announcement that the U.S. will exit the Paris Agreement on climate change.
The president claims the agreement was costing Americans millions of jobs, and this morning there is mixed reaction over that decision.
It's an extraordinary abdication of American leadership.
You can't build a border wall against carbon dioxide emissions.
Environmentalists and scientists say they do worry about the long-term impact. However, the deal won't be finalized for about 3 years. The U.S. can't formally exit the deal until November 2020. Happening this weekend, a worldwide celebration of life.
The nation will celebrate National Cancer Survivor Day, and the USA Mitchell Center Institute is sponsoring an honorary event. It takes place this Sunday from 3:30 to 5:30 at the Mobile Convention Center. The event will have speakers, entertainment by the Mobile Ballet and the Pritchard Performing Arts Dance Company, so it will be sure to wow you. Always a day to celebrate when you are cancer-free or you are a survivor of this disease that we all hate.
Someone you love.
Yes.
Also happening this weekend, why don't you just explore Mobile?
In conjunction with the Alabama Bicentennial Celebration, the City of Mobile's tourist attractions, they've come together to celebrate. It's this Sunday. There's going to be free admission to attractions such as the History Museum of Mobile, Colonial Fort of Mobile, and the Dwarf Franklin Finley African American Heritage Trail, and so much more. Also, make sure that you're in downtown Mobile at the corner of South Royal and Church Street. Between 2 and 7 p.m., there's going to be music, food, and activities as part of this wonderful celebration. And it looks like you will need to bring the umbrella. We're not expecting an all-out washout, but just a few showers here and there. All right, June 12th will mark a year since the mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando.
And this morning, there is newly released body camera video. It's offering a look inside the horror the victims and first responders actually witnessed that night.
541, a check of the live pinpoint Doppler. Mobile getting a break, but it looks like showers sit offshore for Pensacola. Your hour by hour is next.
#15 News, named Best Newscast in the state by the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're just excited because it's National Donut Day.
It is, and we could go for one right
now.
And if you want to have a little breakfast outside on the porch in very short order in Mobile or on the bay, you should be just fine. Pensacola, that's a different story.
And later today, it's going to get soggy too, right?
Yeah, more waves of rain coming in. You didn't get your bike ride in this week, did you?
I did not. And I'm going to try to do it today, but it doesn't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't, Darwin. But if you want to plant some flowers, I know you already have yours in the ground, but for those of you at home that don't, there's going to be enough rain breaks that you can. And the good news is Mother Nature is going to give us a good soaking this weekend, so you won't have to water. Here's where we're dealing with the rainwater right now, though, and watch it. It's kind of beginning to fade down within the past couple of frames here, and there's no lightning out there, but roads are still going to be slick and dangerous, so don't go speeding on I-10 near the Milton exit. We're looking at showers there, also south near Fort Walton Beach and Destin, a flare-up of showers. And here's a look at the rest of the Gulf Coast, and we're continuing to watch moisture. We've got a front that is just not faded out. We were expecting it to decay and fall apart much earlier. It hasn't, and that's why we've seen those waves of rain from Texas all the way over to Florida. We're watching Tropical Depression Beatrice. This is a Pacific storm. It's over Mexico, and the only impact it's going to have on our local weather, or the potential, is going to be some additional moisture, and that's it. Here's your hour by hour. 74 at 7, 81 at noon, 82 is going to be your high today. You'll need the umbrella. We're in hurricane season, second day of it. Gulf of Mexico, Northern Caribbean, and the eastern seaboard this month is typically where we see tropical development. A swampy start, more burst of rain, a sure bet today. And as we show you the hour by hour blips of showers on the radar, heavier downpours Saturday at 7, and then by 8 o'clock, notice it's all lifting northward. Sunday is going to be soggy as well, so download that Local 15 weather app. There's a look at the forecast. 82 the high today, and we're going to see a 70%, 80% chance of showers, I should say, as we head into late Saturday, and we're going to wrap it up and wind it down by Wednesday. We shall.
You're looking at a rally that was held at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History in Washington, D.C., and it came following the shocking discovery of a noose inside an exhibit on segregation. Participants included employees of the Smithsonian who gathered to show their support for staff members affected by that incident. The incident comes less than a week after another noose was found hanging on the National Mall.
Police in Manchester, England released new images of suicide bomber Salman Abedi from days leading up to the attack. The screenshots were captured by security cams at various locations around Manchester. Police say Abadi arrived back in England on May 18th, 4 days before the bombing at an Ariana Grande concert that killed 22 people. They say he purchased parts for his bomb in the days leading up to that attack. Officers still trying to determine whether Abadi was part of a wider network, something they have not ruled out yet.
This morning, comedian Kathy Griffin will hold a press conference after releasing a controversial photograph earlier this week. Griffin plans to address the true motivation behind the image she released of herself holding what was meant to look like President Donald Trump's severed head. Griffin has since lost endorsement deals, at least one club engagement, and a job with CNN. Our national digital partner Circa began reporting on unmasking of Americans' names in Fourth Amendment violations last month, and Wednesday Samantha Power, President of Obama's ambassador to the United Nations, was subpoenaed for looking into information on Americans.
The House Intelligence Committee issued 7 subpoenas in its Russia investigation. The committee wants to know if President Obama's former ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Power, requested to unmask spy information on Americans. Power's name had not surfaced in the unmasking probe until Wednesday. A source directly familiar with the subpoena said the committee received information in recent weeks from the NSA and other intelligence sources, which led to the document demands. Information about Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice and former CIA Director John Brennan was also subpoenaed. The subpoenas did not go to Brennan, Rice, or Powers personally, but rather to agencies who might have information about the requests. The panel also requested information from Donald Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, and issued subpoenas for Trump's former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, and his private firm related to Russia contacts and possible Russian election influence. For Circa in Washington, I'm Caroline McKee.
If you'd like more on this story, visit circa.com, and you can also visit our website, local15tv.com, and click on the Circa tab. An overnight fire has left one man without a home this morning.
While you were sleeping, a fire consumed that man's apartment. He and his cat were injured, but now on the road to recovery. Local 15 Zora Asbury joins us with more this morning. And Zora, did he suffer from any injuries?
He suffered from smoke inhalation, Kelly, and that was following that apartment fire happened on Scenic Highway. The Pensacola Fire Department Lieutenant Gary Creel said the displaced man was the only occupant of the apartment. He was treated on scene. Now, the fire happened in the 900 block of Scenic Highway at the Colony House Apartments. Also, his cat was found unresponsive in the room of the origin of the fire. That cat was reportedly removed from the hazardous atmosphere, revived, and returned to its family. Now, the Pensacola Police Department diverted traffic in the area as the fire was being put out. Traffic has now reopened in that area. In the Breaking News Center, Zora Asbury, Local 15 News.
Thank you, Zora. Raw fear and heartbreak as a nightclub turns into a nightmare.
A little more than 1 week before the one-year anniversary of that horrible Pulse nightclub shooting, newly released police body camera footage showing the horrific and chaotic scene inside as officers responded to the worst mass shooting in U.S. history.
Good morning, Mobile. It is 5:53. It is Friday, and we still have clouds.
Next to you in Malibu. Next to you in Malibu. Next to you.
Good morning, everybody. Well, we are expecting enough rain breaks today to get in some pool time. We'll top that at 82 degrees, but listen up for thunder. If you hear it, you need to hop out of the pool today. We're going to also be watching the radar because it's red snapper season. It is day 2, and yesterday we had a lot of storms out in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll be watching it. We'll keep you up to date if any special marine warnings are issued. But kind of a swampy start this morning. We are on the quiet side. More bursts of rain, a sure bet, but we are going to have some dry relief ahead. It's just going to take its sweet time getting here. Here's a look at the pinpoint predictor. Quiet at 7. Blips of rain near Bay Minette, Malvis, and also Citronelle as we head towards noontime. By 5 o'clock, showers lift across the northern parts of the county. 7 o'clock, if you want to grill out, you've got a little bit of time to do it. By 11 o'clock tonight, showers near the mouth of Mobile Bay and more wet weather as you wake up Saturday morning. In fact, it is going to be a wet go of it as we head through the upcoming weekend. Your time right now is 5:54, and as we take a look at traffic for you this morning, here's a look at I-10 at Virginia Street. No rain coming down out of the sky, but there is going to be a few splashes on the interstate due to all the wet weather we've had recently, so make sure that you drive the speed limit. Darwin.
Thanks, Kelly. June 12th will mark a year since the mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub that happened in Orlando, Florida. This morning, newly released body cam video is offering a look inside the horror that victims and first responders witnessed that night. Sarah Doloff has our story, but first we want to caution you. The sounds and images are disturbing, although they have been edited not to show any of those killed.
Units just arrived. Back up. Watch out for crossfire. 2 or 3 stay at that door for cover.
Raw fear and heartbreak.
Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking.
In the early morning hours of June 12, 2016.
Hey, I got someone shot back here. I need some help.
As recorded by law enforcement body cameras. They show a nightclub turned nightmare as officers climb through a shattered window near the front door and shout commands at gunman Omar Mateen, who'd taken survivors hostage.
Keep going, come on, keep going.
Outside, people hurried to safety as law enforcement assisted an injured officer whose Kevlar helmet was hit with a bullet.
Come on, brother. I got you. I got you.
After a 3-hour standoff, Mateen was killed.
Terrorism in Orlando. Huh? Terrorism in Orlando. Pledges something to the Islamic State.
The owners of Pulse nightclub now plan to turn the site into a permanent memorial, a tribute to the 49 victims and the first responders who rushed into the line of fire. Sarah Doloff, NBC News.
All right, we're going to change gears here. Let's talk about birthdays this morning. Happy 3rd birthday to Cooper Taylor. Birthday love is from your grandma, Joni.
Happy 11th, Emily Grace Smith. Emily will be a 6th grader at UMS Wright next year. Look how cute she is with her pup. Birthday love, Emily, is from your mom, dad, and your entire family. They love you so much.
And a happiest 30th birthday to JD Perez Matei. Birthday love is from your friends Chris and Oscar.
And don't forget to send us your birthday announcement by email to birthdays@local15tv.com. Remember, we need the name, date, and picture of the birthday boy or girl. We'll then announce those birthdays and post them online. You can find them under the community tab. Just click on birthday wishes.
A changing family dynamic. More dads at home while moms work.
Different parents, but the same level of stress. Coming up at 6 a.m., our Tara Morgan shows us how the stresses are the same no matter which parent watches in this morning's Family 411.